Welcome. Shut up. I figured we could get one more in, but no, I had to have a coughing jag, so we're going to anyway.
I'm feeling pretty good.
I do feel pretty good.
Oh, good.
A little dizzy, so you're actually making sense today, which is...
Yipe! We got to get that fixed right now.
I have drugs.
Okay.
Where was I now?
You're going to do
yes, I was inviting people to watch us.
Yes.
And like us and follow us. And then to send us stuff at titr.netradio.network. Because honestly, if you can find stories for us, we don't have to go look for them. And we're about the laziest two people I've ever met. We are lazy enough for 6 people, actually. They've done studies.
Tony's lazy enough for 5.5 people.
No, I figured I'd pretty much take up all 6.
Okay, I'm going with that.
Yeah. With you, it might be 6 and change. So anyway, like, subscribe, and follow. Send us stuff at titr.netradio.network. And there's something else I'm forgetting. I don't know. Listen, if you got a comment on what I forgot about, just leave it wherever you see, listen, and or avoid us. Well, I don't know how you could actually leave a comment if you're avoiding us. It'd be hard. Of course, might make sense. You never know. I'm confused now.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Couple of Slithery stories.
Oh, we're not talking snake slither, are we?
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
No.
Location: Huanggang Port, the border crossing between Hong Kong and Communist China. Person of interest, a woman who attracted border agents' attention by acting nervous and hurried during luggage inspections. Our sharp-eyed commies bravely noticed the woman's trouser pockets seemed overstuffed. A search found socks inside each pocket.
Well, that...
containing live snakes. 6 in all.
Why does it always have to be snakes?
I hate snakes. The reptiles were confirmed to be ball pythons. Apparently, they were going to be playing for the Chinese team. Yeah.
Okay.
Non-venomous snake native to Western Central Africa. On to the next slithering story. This is first person. Lady's a female working in a reptile store, so it's fairly common for people to question why I would be interested in snakes and lizards. On this particular day, I'm helping a woman and her 6-year-old daughter hold a snake. Customer: so do you have any reptiles at your own home? Me: oh, yes, I have a ton. Laughing. Customer: how does that affect your dating life? I mean, boys can't possibly think that's attractive in a girl. Me: well, it really doesn't have an effect. It's not usually an issue. Customer's daughter: Mommy, can I have a pet snake? Customer: no, sweetie, we want you to have boyfriends. Wow.
Reminds me of Brooke Henderson's dad.
Oh, yeah?
Brooke is a great golfer.
Yep.
She's the winningest Canadian golfer, male or female, obviously. Anyway, she started off life, because there's long winters in Canada, which is where she was born and raised.
Oh. Okay.
And what do you do in the winter? You either learn to curl
or freeze.
Or you play hockey.
Yeah, well, there you go. So she played hockey. Yeah.
She was a goalie. She quit when her dad said that boys prefer their women to have all their teeth. I think she was like 12.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, my.
Poor kid.
So it's December and the holiday season is officially upon us. Seems not everyone is particularly happy about that. We got a Santa shot in Kentucky. Hang on, it's not that bad. The holiday cheer of Donald Nelson got seriously deflated on November 26th.
Okay.
Earlier, Nelson had finished setting up the usual Christmas decorations outside his family homestead in Lexington, Kentucky.
Probably had, some deer and maybe a sleigh and an elf or two.
Believe it or not, one of the decorations included a brand spanking new inflatable Santa.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, the 8-foot tall balloons. I think our neighbor has one. Oh, now I'm not feeling safe. The 8-foot tall balloon stood proudly in Nelson's front yard. Yet on this Sunday night, the Sunday night after Thanksgiving, Nelson and his family heard what they described to the Independent as a small bang. He went outside. Santa was wounded. He was lying empty on the ground. At first, Nelson didn't think much of it, but he checked his home security camera footage. Whoops. See, there are cameras everywhere, people. The footage shows an unknown car pulling into the cul-de-sac in front of his house. The vehicle turns around. The camera microphone catches a pop that, in hindsight, was probably a gunshot. Right at that moment, the video shows the giant Santa bursting and falling to the ground. Do you need hollow point to do that to a balloon?
No.
Good. Inspecting the balloon, Nelson found a large 18-inch rip of an exit wound on Santa's back. Maybe
It sounds to me like it did. Maybe it was hollow point, but a hollow point. How would it? I mean, the material's so.
I mean, what
thin.
would cause it to spread? Maybe it was just very delicate hollow point.
They call them snowflake hollow points.
Yes, they do. One of Nelson's neighbors has offered to sew the inflatable back together again, but the man is understandably hesitant because
there's gunshots involved.
If the Santa was shot at, somebody was firing a gun towards his house.
Mm-hmm.
He's filed a police report, but the cops have not much to go on. All you see is the car drive by, turn around, shoot. If the suspect shooter comes back, though, Nelson hopes he or his neighbors can maybe, this time, catch the license plate.
I think he ought to put up a holiday 50 cal on a stand. Make it look like a candy cane.
He ought to get total tank.
There we go.
Santa Claus reference for 10 art. That's right about the time Tim Allen got really fat in the movie.
Yeah. Another first-person story.
Another one?
Buddy of mine got drunk at a bar.
Uh-oh.
Got arrested for being drunk in public. But no, I was drunk in a bar. You brought me out here into public. Arrest them. I'm sorry. I'm channeling Ron White. Buddy of mine got drunk at a bar. Drove a large pickup home shirtless. Really slow through the side streets. When he got pulled over, he remembered that putting a penny in his mouth might throw off the intoxication test. What did our drunk do?
Put a penny in his mouth?
He grabbed about $1.75 in loose change and jammed it in his mouth.
Figuring somewhere in there had to be pennies.
Right. License and registration, please. Mumble, mumble, mumble. Step out of the vehicle, sir. As he gets out, he trips on the edge of his giant truck and goes face first into the pavement. Out comes all the change.
Did they come with teeth?
Cop, have you been drinking tonight, son? Why, yes, officer, I have. Cop. Jackpot.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to pull his arm.
Nope. Just let him get out of the car. Well, I'm educated guess that when he got out of that car, standing up might be a little struggle. So, remember that Kentucky Santa shooting?
Yes.
You go down to Texas, and this is very disappointing, Texas. I'm going to say that right now. I'm disappointed. We're going to talk the Grinch. And it wasn't really the Green Grouch himself. It was David Grisham, a local Amarillo resident, who was wearing a Grinch outfit.
All right.
So in his Grinch costume, Grisham went to stand in front of the Sleepy Hollow Elementary School during the morning drop-off hours. So far, everything about this story is fun.
Yeah.
But if they're in Sleepy Hollow, the Grinch,
in his
hand, he held a sign that read, "Santa's a fake, Jesus is real." You may have guessed. You may have gone through some sort of this. Understandably, the parents dropping off their kids were not all that thrilled about Grisham's stunt.
No, I can see.
Several people confronted the man. One dad even yanked the sign out of his hands and hurled it to the ground. Dude, you're going to yank it out of his hands, keep it, because you know what he's going to do?
Pick it up.
Yeah, pretty much. He kept loitering around. Someone eventually called the cops. Cops tried talking to the Grinch, but when he wouldn't leave, that was pretty much it. I mean, he wasn't breaking any law. He's on a public sidewalk.
If he's on public property, there's nothing you can do. He gets to have his say.
Grisham later told ABC 7 News that he understood why the parents were upset. And it's the standard, because they're prideful and don't want to admit that lying to their child is wrong in spite of what God's word says.
Does this clown have any kids?
I have no idea.
If you want to look up the term,
I'm just trying to figure out if he was trying to explain to him that Santa's fake. Why was he wearing a Grinch costume? Because the Grinch is
also fake.
Very confusing to the kids. Dipstick.
More
that argument goes on every year, dude.
Poophead.
You wander around the Christian part of the internet, that thing goes yay and nay every year.
They drive me absolutely nuts. How about having a little fun? There's such a thing as whimsy.
No, actually, whimsy is, I believe, taken out of there in the 11th commandment.
Or isn't it one of the 8 deadly sins? Whimsy?
They're only set. Oh.
It's the secret deadly sin.
I see what you, it's like double secret probation.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind. I apologize. Carry on, sir.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.